cunt. Just punch myself in my nose while I'm taking my top off. Well, morning. Right, here we go. So we're trying to set it up a little bit more for you lot. So, good morning, Insta. Good morning. Good morning, TikTok. Good morning. And then good morning, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. We are back on a Monday. We're going to try and be here 3 days a week from now on. And I just hit myself in the nose, so hopefully it's not going to bleed. And we're talking everything sales, mindset, skill set, habits. The goal is going to be able to help you guys really overcome some of the hurdles that you're facing within, whether you're a salesperson, a business owner, you're crushing it and you want to get more, or you might just be at the stage that things aren't going your way. So that's going to be the play. Morning, Artie. Yes, I did. Morning, Danny. Good morning. So we're going to hop straight into it. The goal behind this, and excuse the lighting if you're LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, the lighting on this is not the best today, but we're going to be getting better. There's a lot of exciting stuff coming around in the next couple of weeks, which is going to mean we're going to be able to deliver better results to you guys out there. And the goal behind it, I do not hide about this. By us coming on lives and giving you guys free training, free guidance, free help, we get clients because people see us here and they get to the stage and go, I want to work with that guy. And if you get to that stage, you just hit me up in the DMs. We have a chat, we have a conversation, and see if I can help. But you can just be here and take in the free stuff and see how you get on. So we're going to hop into it just so you get a little bit more context about what we're really talking about. There is a lot of people out there at the moment that are struggling with certain areas within their sales process, whether that's recruitment, whether that's in solar, whether that's in outbound, whether it's in inbound. The struggles are pretty much the same. And I'm going to be really, really brutally honest with you guys today. Is a lot of the stuff is quite easy fixes. Now, does it mean that you're never going to have a difficulty? No. Does it mean things are always going to be easy? No, TikTok, it doesn't. No, Instagram, it doesn't. No, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, it doesn't. But as you grow and as you move forward, it gives you the ability to keep scaling out and finding new levels. And when you get new levels, you're going to get new problems. And the goal behind this is going to be able to give you enough tools so that as you keep leveling up, you're going to be able to get to the next stage, the next stage, the next stage. So sit with me for half an hour before we go off and do our group client calls. And we're going to jump into it. If you get questions, you can pop them into the chat and we'll do a little recap behind it. And I want to talk specifically today around generating revenue because it's really, really important. So we're going to talk about a few different areas and then we're going to hop out of that into our client stuff later and go from there. So if you're watching here on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, sometimes your comments will come up, sometimes they don't. Instagram, your comments will come up, and TikTok, anyone on here, it also will come up. So feel free to put them in and we'll go through it. So there's two main sides that most people have an issue and a problem with. So whether you're a salesperson or whether you're a business owner, it's going to be fairly similar around the way you approach it. The only difference is going to be here is if you're a business owner with a sales team. I'm not necessarily going to be talking specifically to you today, but this could be relevant. Well, it will be relevant for your salespeople themselves. And one of the most crucial parts that we have with a lot of this is most people out there are not actually going off and really finding the core problems that are actually facing the business to overcome them. What they're actually doing is they're going off and they're watching videos on YouTube, LinkedIn, TikTok, and we're trying to almost self-diagnose with what the problem is to what the actual solution will be. And the problem that we have is a lot of the advice that's on social media is around specific areas. And I'll give you a prime example. If you are in sales or you're a business owner and you're struggling to sell and you're watching some of the other people that are trainers, and a lot of these people are fantastic, they really are, but they are focused on a certain area of sales. So for example, if they're dealing with the B2C coaching space where they're talking to people in their front room, that have got a coaching business or something similar, and they're getting inbound booked calls into their diary, the way you're going to handle objections and the pitch is very different than it would be for outbound B2B. It would be very different for people that have got lead magnets from a paid ad to people that have been following you on social media. And I'll give you an example. You guys here now, you're watching this on social media. So you already have exposure to me. So if you were going to get on a call with me or one of the team, the level of knowledge you have on me, the level of confidence you have on me, the level of understanding of who I am, what I do, how I turn up and how I approach things is very different than if you had just seen a paid ad from me. If you've only ever seen a paid ad from me, your level of trust, belief and confidence is going to be very different than if you had been following my content for the space for the last 6 months. Does that make sense? So when you're looking at advice online, you have to make sure that the advice that's being given is actually relevant and direct for your industry. I'll give you a prime example. We're in 19 industries. So if I'm giving advice now to an insurance broker or a solar company or a high ticket salesperson or a high ticket education company or a recruitment company, although some of the areas will have similarities, whether it's B2B, whether it's B2C, whether it's inbound, whether it's outbound, whether it's paid ads, whether it's organic ads, are all going to play a part on the way that situations have to be approached, the way that objections are overcome, the way that pitching happens, the way that you would close the deal. Prime example, if you were in recruitment space, you're likely going to have more of a free call close because you've got the intro call for an appointment, you've got the appointment, then you might have a proposal or even a preferred suppliers list you've got to get onto. If you're selling B2C and they've come through on a 1 hour VSL, that is going to be completely different on the level of confidence, belief and buying decisions that happen throughout that process. So I want you guys to all think about this when you're in the sales process that you're in right now. When you're looking at the problems that you face, are you getting advice? Are you seeking the right advice from people? But although they are amazing at what they do, the industry that they're in, the method that they sell isn't aligned in the way that your clients are buying. So for example, if you've got people that have got a massive social media following, let's just say there's a coach, let's call him Frank. And Frank's got a 5 million person social media following. He's got a huge amount of social proof. You've been following his content for the last 2 years. Now you've gone onto his VSL for half an hour and you've watched and you've learned and you're like, wow, this guy can really help. If you now end up on a call, that is still the first phone call, but it is far easier to close that business because the level of exposure that that person has had to Frank is very different. Now, if that same Frank has got 10 followers on Instagram, you've never heard of him before, he could still be just as articulate and just as great. But the level of exposure you've had to that person and the time length of exposure to that person is completely different on whether you're going to be able to have enough confidence to make a buying decision. And that's actually what we're looking at. The whole idea of sales and selling is you are becoming a change maker. You are not there as someone to just present your product or your service. You guys are there to help people get a new perspective, a new idea, a new solution, a new thought pattern that's going to activate them to make a change, where they're going to decide that staying the same is no longer an option. It is not just about telling people about our products and our services. And I think we're really getting caught up for a lot of us right now, but we're getting caught up in a place where we're on almost a hamster wheel in our sales cycle, and that doesn't help us move forward. The goal is to help people move forward. The goal is to help people get rid of the problems that they face via your products or services. And if your product or service doesn't get them to that place, but you take the step back and you help them get the help that they need. Because when you become focused on just getting people the help they need, you don't mind losing out on clients here, there, and everywhere. Your job shouldn't be to sell every person everything you can get your hands on. Your job should be, as that expert, to help them make a decision that's going to make their life better. So when you're going out this week and you're going out for generating leads, whether you're going out for closing business, whether you're going out now for upselling clients, whether it's new business, whatever it is, you've got to meet the people where they are right now, today. Not where you want them to be, not where the last person that sounded like them was. You've got to work out where are they right now and how can you help them get to that next stage. So think of it like stepping stones within the sales process. What a lot of people are trying to do is have the first conversation and get them to buy. Now, of course, that sounds great. But actually, if there's a series of stepping stones within there and you're working out the right conversation, the right structure, the right flow, the right process with that person, it becomes far easier to navigate that conversation because all you're trying to do is to get to that next step rather than this massive jump that actually doesn't move it forward. Because what happens in a lot of that time is if you're at the stage now where you're trying to push people into your products, you're trying to push people into your service, that will actually elevate resistance and it will reduce flow in the conversation. And what we want to be able to do in every conversation is we want to reduce resistance and we want to increase flow. And every time that we're opening our mouths, we're doing one of those things. Either you are increasing or reducing resistance, or you are increasing or reducing flow. It is not a zero-sum game when you're having conversations with people. The whole point about this is, and that's, I don't agree with that. So someone just said in sales, you just need to sell yourself. The rest is simple. I don't think it is. I think for a lot of the time out there, yes, a sale takes place. Yes, we have to be sold on ourselves. But we've got to get out there and we need to have better conversations with people. If you're trying to sell iPhones, their goal is to get everyone to buy an iPhone. If you're selling a transformational product, your job is to sell to the people that you can get the best result for in the shortest amount of time. So there's a big difference on what we're selling, on the methodology and the way we actually go and sell these things. Because a lot of the time out there, let's think of it like this. Let's say I've got severe toothache right now. People don't care at that point about me. They only care about, do I have confidence that this person can get rid of my toothache? Because the pain is greater than the need to buy the person, to trust the person. You can trust on the result without having belief in the person. You don't need to like them. I don't need to like my dentist. If I've got toothache, all I want to do is get rid of my toothache. I have to have confidence that that dentist is going to do it in the right way. So we have to look at when we are selling a product and we are selling a service, what is the transformation that needs to happen with that person to get from where they are now to that next stage. And often, and I spoke about this at an event last week I was talking at, when you're in the sales process and you get a new lead come in, we see that we have a new lead. We see that this person has joined our CRM. You've joined our community. But actually, we're joining their journey. We're joining their life. My nose is so itchy. And we've got to realize that when we're joining someone else's journey, we've got to understand the lay of the land. We need to understand where they are. We need to get there from a stage we're at now to understand where they are to be able to make a recommendation that's actually going to move them forward. So that's the whole point behind this, is you've got to understand where they are right now and what are the beliefs, misconceptions and fears that they might have based around most of these areas before you even think about offering your product and service. So whether you're here on Insta, whether you're here on TikTok, whether you're here on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, before you worry too much about the sale, while you worry about the pitch, any of that stuff, you've got to understand where the people are right now in the process. And that can be in a number of areas. It can be based on you. It can be based on their problem, their pain point, the hurdles, and all the other parts that they've got going on. A lot of the time out there, people are in such a rush to push their product and service because we all think that our product is the best. But actually, your product isn't always the best. It's not the best fit for everyone. Because actually, it depends what they need. It depends where they are. It depends what they believe. And a lot of the time, even if your product is the right fit for them, if they don't believe fully that it is the right fit for them, then you're offering something at the wrong time. I've got plenty of people in my life that I massively love, and I love them massively. It doesn't mean I hire them for their services. Just because I buy into them doesn't mean I buy into their ability over someone else. And actually, when we're selling a product or a service, one of the key things that gets really overlooked is the person that you are selling a product or service to. What are their beliefs? What is the worst case scenario for them in their beliefs that they have if they buy your product or service? And you've got to be able to work that out. Because we say that I can do A, B, and C for you, doesn't mean that they believe you. It doesn't mean they believe it in their soul. And it's not because they didn't believe you, but they might have been screwed over by 3 other people. You might remind them of someone who screwed them over. And actually, just because they like you isn't enough. So we've got to start working it out, whether you're on TikTok, whether you're on Insta, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. Where are your buyers right now in the process? And remove yourself from that process. Like, get yourself out of it. Don't go into how much effort you put into it and all this stuff. Really understand where they are right now and meet them where they are right now, warts and all. All the beliefs that they've got, all of the other stuff that they've got going on. Before you focus too much on where they are in their life, now go back to the stage of what are the barriers going to be for them actually buying. So many people get on sales calls and they're trying to make a friend. Most of us don't need more friends. We need experts. We need someone who's actually going to deliver the results. I've got someone I work with now. We are not friends. I respect them massively for their expertise. And I respect them so much for their expertise, but we don't need to get on because I have blind faith that they are the best person to deliver the results of what I'm looking to do. Now, it doesn't mean that they're a bad person. Our personalities just don't align in the same way. And that's okay. We can still do business together because I can have complete and utter faith in that person that the worst case scenario that is going to happen is far better than me keeping the money that I was going to spend. Let's say something is £5,000 now, and we're looking it's going to make £100,000. That's cool. But if I think the worst case scenario in my head is we could lose 10,000, that makes it a harder decision to buy. But if I know the absolute worst case scenario is I make 15 grand, that 5K is far easier to spend, not because I like them, just because I know that the worst case scenario is I'm in a better place than I am right now. And we need to get to the stage where we understand that the person you're talking to, when you leave them, what do they believe the worst case scenario is going to be? And a lot of us spend so much time telling people the big result, the big solution, that we actually overlook what is the worst case scenario from their eyes. It doesn't matter what you tell them it is. It's about you guys working out from their side, what do they believe? Give you a prime example. Let's say you've got a kid and they're scared of the dark and they're scared of monsters under the bed. You saying there's no monsters under the bed doesn't help that kid. You need to be able to get down to their level and down to their perspective to understand what they see and get them to the stage where you can change their perspective so that the worst case scenario is greater than the cost or greater than the price. And when you get to the stage that you can help people understand that, it makes life easier. Right. I'm going to do very quickly if there's a question to jump in, and then we've got to jump out to a group. Well, I've got a client call and then a group one. Monday's always crazy. I don't know if it was one, so I'm going to have a quick look. Oh, by the way, if anyone knows how to do LinkedIn events properly, let me know. I need to start doing them more organized. Bayat says, what does one get by joining your program? What's included? Just drop me a DM. We've got 3 different programs. It depends what you're looking to do. I think that was about it anyway. CJ Fitness, followed you for a while, mate, and I like your content. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. Go and have a good day. Right, everyone. That's me. We're done. We're out. We're getting into client stuff. So TikTok, good to see you. Have a good rest of the day. We'll probably be on here tomorrow, Wednesday. Insta, see you later. YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. That was a quick 20 minutes, wasn't it? Go and have a good day. See you later.